What is up, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. For those listening, those watching on YouTube, we back with another one, and we got a special guest all the way from Australia. My guy Ross. Forgive me, Ross, because at first I called him. I said, "Hey, Russ." It might have been a Russell Westbrook thing because I was mad at Russell Westbrook, so I kept hearing the name Russ, Russ, Russ. But
That's
my
probably
guy
me. I
Ross.
can't talk properly, so I'm pronouncing my own name wrong.
So we got my guy Ross. As I just told Ross, man, a lot of people are just recommending their channel to me, especially for me to learn all about Australia. I learned a lot. I think I only done like maybe two, three, maybe four of your videos and been learning a whole lot. And the people love you, Ross. The people love
Thanks,
you
bud. Thanks.
over in
Thanks, the
Australia. So
people.
yeah, the Australians, the Aussies, they love you, mate. So, but yeah, you can tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you do.
Sure. So my name is Ross. I emigrated to Australia during COVID. I emigrated with my family, which has now increased. I now have two screaming daughters at me. Um, but no, we've been living here for a couple of years. We live in Brisbane, and we're absolutely loving it. And my
Nice.
mission, I suppose, in life is to be able to share that with other people, just so that we might be able to help and inspire them to also make the move, because it's really made a difference in our lives.
That's nice, man. That's nice. And you said Brisbane, man. I think I was watching some AFL. That was the first time I heard because I was saying Brisbane the whole time.
Yeah, no,
Nobody,
don't say that around here.
yeah,
You'll get some
nobody
dodgy looks.
corrected me on the AFL video. So, and then I heard the correct way, and I was like, okay, Brisbane,
How do you say
Melbourne,
the city down south that begins with an M?
Melbourne. I was saying Melbourne, and they were like
Yeah,
Melbourne,
close enough.
Melbourne. Yeah, I
It's
was.
better than Melbourne, I guess.
Right, yeah, I was feeling that burn, that let it burn at the end
Yeah,
of the
just
it, so
bun, like a bun in the oven.
yeah.
Melbourne.
See, that's what everybody was telling me, so I was like, pretty much everything that ends with an "ne" is pretty much the same just about.
Oh, they'll
So
pronounce everything different anyway, so
yeah.
it's a minefield for pronunciation.
Yeah, so I've been learning, I've been trying. They came after me because I was like MU, I would say emu or something like that,
Emu.
and
Have
yeah.
you heard about the Emu Wars?
I haven't,
Oh,
but
you need to learn about the Emu Wars.
I need to check that out because I seen
Yeah.
a few. They look. I mean, I feel like they kind of as popular as a kangaroo. So I was like, man, let me correct myself and say this right because I think the first five comments that I got was like, you saying emu is mu. So, but I'm learning out here. I'm trying. So, but
Absolutely, that's what it's all about.
exactly.
Every day's a school day.
Every day I'm learning. I surprise myself every day. Every day. So, but the first question I have for you, Ross,
Sure.
talking about life in Australia, like you said, you moved from, what was it, the UK to
Hmm.
Australia, and one of the toughest times at that. I'm sure that was tough on you, but how
Yeah,
was
always
like
like a
been?
challenge.
Yeah, how was like been since moving to Australia?
Oh, so much better in so many ways. But I mean, the thing to remember is that not everything is as rosy and as glamorous as perhaps sometimes I try and make out. Like,
Right.
you everything, most things are better. The obvious thing that is worse that kind of really stands out is just not being able to see friends and family that we
Hmm.
had in the UK. Have in the UK, it's not like we don't have them anymore. It's not like we
Yeah.
left and they just ceased being friends and family. But yeah, that's probably the main bit. And for 2 years, pretty much, it's been difficult because we've not been able to see them because
Hmm.
Australian governments in their omnipotent power decide that the best way to get rid of it is to just shut borders completely.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, just it worked within reason. Probably didn't do the best for the economy, and that's the bit that's trying to kind of bounce back, like most
Hmm.
places at the moment. But that's probably the major kind of factor. But we moved here with a very much of an open mindset, with
Okay.
expecting everything, and I think that was really key because if you don't and you're trying to focus on specific things that you think are the important stuff, and you don't
Mhm.
take into consideration everything else, then it just makes it all really, really difficult trying to put everything into perspective. I mean,
Mhm.
for us, the two main things were our own kind of lifestyle and the lifestyle that we could afford for our child at the time, but kids now. And when we look at sort of major things on there, like, you know, we're a lot more outdoorsy.
Mhm.
The kids have got more opportunity to play outdoors, and it's things like that the weather, just
Yeah.
not having to sit in the grey and the cold and the dreariness. I mean, it's getting into winter now there
Mhm.
for you northern hemisphere folk. um and that was just the worst part of the year for me, just having to know that I've got to stay indoors because it's raining and my
Yeah.
kids are just going nutty. And you know, I, I love playing a bit of Xbox, but I think that that's probably something that I can afford not to let my children get too into right now, because they can just play on the trampoline or we can go to the
Right.
park, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Lots of things that I kind of thought about in my own childhood that
Mhm.
I perhaps took for granted, but then I think, no, that those are the types of things that I want for my kids. We can have them here, and a bit better. So that's the main driving force, really. And when you keep those things into perspective, it helps the little things to perhaps not matter so much.
Yeah, because I know I checked out quite a bit of videos just from Europe, and those winters. I think a video of Sweden I did. They were like, pretty much winter is so depressing. It seems just because you're just inside most of the time. You know.
I mean, yeah, the romantic idea of being able to play in the snow is a great thing, but that
Mhm.
just doesn't happen in England. I remember,
Right.
because I used to be a geography teacher, and obviously weather was a bit of my speciality, having to teach kids about why it was snowing, but we
Mhm.
wouldn't have snow settling. It was just like watching their little minds pop, like, what? We're not going to get a snow day. No, mate, because it's too wet, and
Yeah.
it's just going to melt away. And watching their dreams melt away as they think they're
That
going to get a snow day.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like Texas, man. I think, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. We got hit with like a major snowstorm, and
Hmm.
like I think it froze up all the pipes. Like our water was out, everything was out, and all those different things. But in Texas, we probably won't see snow until like February, you know. But we watched these movies when we were kids, and it's snowing on Christmas and all that.
Yeah, that
So
doesn't
that's
happen.
what we expect as kids. But my kids be, oh, it's gonna snow on Christmas. Nah, we probably want to see probably one day of snow in February, and that's about it. But
32 years in the UK, I think the closest I ever got to a white Christmas was it kind of sleeted a bit, but
mm,
obviously that never settled. So yeah,
yeah,
they always
but
have a
no,
bet on to see, people are going to bet and see if it's a white Christmas this year,
right.
and the bookies are just raking the money in because it's never going to happen.
Exactly, but now it seemed like you made this decision, big decision for your family as well. Like you mentioned, like having your kids have the opportunity to go outside and stuff. Cause I don't know, I stress to my kids, they like going outside sometimes, you know, but sometimes they would rather play the game and stuff. But I was like, when I was younger, we didn't really have much to do but to go outside. You know, we could walk around and stuff. And of course, here in the States, it's not even that safe to just do what was happening, you know, and probably you'd say early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, but but yeah, man, it's good. I see the beautiful weather there in Australia, man. It looked nice. At least everywhere seemed nice, you know.
Yeah, and with the weather as well, we're going outside. At first, we used to have like what I call the guilt, where
Mhm.
in England, if you had nice weather, you just felt absolutely compelled to go and sit outside, at least in your
Mhm.
garden, to soak in the sun. Like, we don't know when it's ever going to come back.
Right.
And when it was here, and we first kind of thought to ourselves, "Oh, it's nice weather. It's nice weather. We've got to get outside." And we do that for the first few times. Then we're like, "Hang on a minute. This is every day. Like,
Yeah.
it's the outlier when it actually rains or it's a little bit cloudy." So
Mhm.
when it's like that, it's nice to actually be able to pick and choose. You don't feel too guilty when you've got really nice weather outside, and do you know what, I fancy a bit of a day off, and I'm going to sit in with the aircon, and I'm just going to watch a
Right.
nice movie.
Yeah.
You
So
have that choice. You don't have the guilt anymore.
right, because I think somebody had to correct me because I was like, it's summertime in December in
Yeah.
Australia. They were like, well, yeah, it's on a
And in
different
Brisbane it gets
hemisphere.
hot.
Yeah. So I was like, well, if it get too cold, I know where I can vacation still. So that's a good
Absolutely. Just
thing.
chase the sun around the world.
Right. So that's it. You know, that
What
sounds
a
like a
horrible
plan.
way to live.
Yeah. Like sometimes we need the coolness though. Sometimes.
Oh, I
But
don't ever need the cold.
yeah.
It gets the temperature here in the winter when it starts with a 1. I kind of think to myself that's cold. But then
Oh
I'm
yeah.
talking in Celsius as well. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah,
But
we're talking foreign languages when it comes to temperature. You'll say one number and I'll
yeah.
be like, I have no idea what that is. I just know that 100 degrees is probably about 38.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I be trying to learn that stuff. I was trying to learn like the metric system and all that stuff,
Well, there
but
you go. Because we're
I get
sat here in
lazy.
front of devices that can tell us everything. What we're
Exactly.
going to say, if I go 19 degrees
Right. It's
to
like I could just Google
Fahrenheit,
this.
there we
Yeah.
go. Yep. Hey, why sit in here? So when it
One
drops
click
to
away.
your 66, then I'm
Okay.
like, nah, I'm cold, mate.
Yeah.
Trousers, pants come on, long pants.
I ain't gonna 66 here in Texas is a little breezy because we used to the
Yeah.
hot and stuff. So it's
Yeah,
perfect weather,
absolutely.
but it's a little, but nah, man, weather is a big thing. I love good with like fall right now is good. Other than there's tornadoes that's trying to happen and happening right now, it's like okay, but tomorrow is gonna be sunny, So,
Yeah.
but that's
I
Texas for
never
you. That's
realized
Texas.
as well how much the weather changes your mood.
Yeah.
Just used to be so grumpy in the winter, and you just kind of
Hmm.
put it down to lots of other factors. And then here, where even in our winter, it's probably better than the summer in the UK, apart from when they get a
Yeah.
heat wave. I'm just you just drive to work, and it's nice coloured skies, and it just
Right.
really you just can't help but smile. Um,
Yeah. Hey,
yeah,
you definitely feel how the Grinch felt sometimes, especially in the winter. You're like, sometimes I understand the Grinch.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
man, that's good. Yeah, definitely love the weather. But my next question I have for you: if I was to visit Australia, what food would you recommend? I just seen a
What
top 10
food?
food.
Well, so here's the thing I'm going to ask you. What food do you like? Because Australian cuisine, I mean, yes, you could go with what stereotypical
Hmm.
Australian cuisine is, but you don't have to stick to that. Like there's so much
Right.
on offer and they kind of put their own little bit of a spin on it. So what food do you like?
See, I
What would be your go-to?
see. I can eat anything. Probably the main thing. A burger. I know a good burger. Always a good. I
Stop
seen a
it.
I seen a weird burger though. It was a burger with beetroot on it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You'd
Yeah.
probably have to try an Aussie burger, like just they call it something like with the works, so with the works,
Okay.
and that would
Yeah.
include definitely beetroot, probably some salad in there, but you don't make friends with salad,
Yeah.
and
Right.
they probably put an egg in there as well,
Okay.
maybe. If
I've
you're
had
lucky,
a
you might get
burger
a bit
with
of a
an egg. Yeah.
pineapple. Yeah, no,
Okay.
they'll just throw it all in. But yeah, the weirdest bit is having beetroot. And at first, there's the obvious concern in the sense of when do I normally eat beetroot anyway? Why are you putting beetroot in
Exactly.
something which I want
Right.
to enjoy? But it tastes good. Then the second
Okay.
concern is because it's a works burger and there's so much kind of stuff in it
Hmm.
and you've got the egg dribbling out. Like, oh, what happens if the beetroot bit dribbles out? So obviously, you might have to think about wearing a bib.
Right.
Um, but nah, just cut it up a bit and just get stuck in, mate. I
Yeah.
had one. I'd probably advise as well that if you're going to come to Australia and you want sort of an authentic Australian
Hmm.
burger, to actually go a little bit out of the cities and go somewhere that's a little bit more rural. So we went out to a place called Boona, which I thought was like in the middle of nowhere, but then lots of Australians corrected me in the sense that it's only about an hour and a half away. Um, which in Australian standards is not very far
Yeah.
at all. But a pommy git kind of thinks to themselves, nah, mate, where's all civilization gone? Like this is completely in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And we just kind of stayed at a kind of a country place, and we
Mhm.
went to a country cafe, and there was one on the
Okay.
menu, and I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. And yeah, it's so
Yeah.
much food. But
See, I
yeah, it was tasty. I'd
and
recommend it.
I seen the what's it called? The spread, the Vegemite. If I said
Mm-hmm.
it right, Vegemite. I don't know if you eat that often or not, but I was like, I
I
need to
love
order
Vegemite.
some of that. I said I need to order some of that. I need to try it because people were telling me, it's actually not bad. So I was
Mm,
like, mm.
I've only been to America once,
Mhm.
and I don't think you have anything that's remotely similar.
Yeah,
Like,
probably not.
because
I
you guys love your sweet stuff. I mean, my mum's from the
Mhm.
Philippines, and that's heavily Americanized,
Yeah.
and Yeah, there's just so much sweet
We
stuff. Like you
like
put
we like
sugar on
sugar,
bread. Like, what the hell are you
yeah.
doing? It's
Sugar,
crazy.
syrup, all
Yeah.
that stuff. I
Oh,
remember.
there's definitely a time and a place for it. But then when you start eating stuff like Vegemite or even Marmite, the English version, and you're
Yeah.
like, what is this? What?
See,
So it's a
what is
very
it
alien
made
taste.
out of?
It's like a yeast extract.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeast, I think, is like the stuff that you make alcohol with. And then
Okay.
what do you do with the end bit of it? I don't know. Then make Vegemite. And considering how much
Interesting.
Australians drink, then they're probably going to have lots of demand for yeast extract.
Yeah, that's definitely I seen that because like I think I did 2 videos with just some foods in Australia,
Yeah.
and that was the main thing that popped up. I think Tim Tam, if I said that
Oh
right,
yeah.
the Tim
Oh,
Tams
you'd love a
look
Tim
like
Tam.
okay, yeah, because I tried food from like Sweden and Germany. I tried those, and I tried to say the souvenirs because I have this Fritz. I don't know what if you can see that, like a
I
little
could just
Fritz
about. I'm making out some kind of pinky
Fritz.
bottle.
Yeah, Fritz Spritz or something like
Fritz
that.
Spritz.
Yeah,
That sounds so German.
got it from Germany. Somebody sent it to me from Germany.
What's it going to be? Like a strawberry kind of soda or
Yeah, I
something?
think it's a spritzer.
Okay.
Maybe like a sparkling drink or something. I
Yeah,
was
my
scared to drink
German's
it.
terrible. So even if you said it to me, I'd have
Yeah.
no idea. It's the most angry language in the world.
Yeah, I was like, I said, I don't know. I said, I ain't trying to get tipsy on camera when I was trying the foods
Is
and
it got
stuff like
alcohol in it?
I don't think those people told me they were like, no, it's like a fruity drink. I
Nah,
see
pretty
vegan on
standard.
here. Yeah, so it's fruity.
Oh, they put vegan on everything now. They just want to sell stuff.
Hey, and I tell people I'm a carnivore out here, man. I can't be doing that. I'm a meat eater for sure, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, no, I don't eat meat with everything. I don't mind a vegan eat something, but I'm not going to switch completely.
Right. You're not gonna force me to eat this burger that's made out of beans or nothing like that. But I wouldn't get tricked that bad because I know real authentic meat. I wouldn't let them trick me. But yeah, there are some interesting foods. The kangaroo meat. I seen
Yeah,
them packaged kangaroo meat look like ground beef, all those different things,
yeah.
like a steak. So
Lots of people feed it to their dogs as well. It's really
yeah,
high iron content. It's actually really
okay,
healthy. There's pretty much no fat on it at all.
okay.
I've eaten it. It tastes all right. I would describe it like have you ever had like much game stuff like deer or anything like that?
I think I've had deer. It's been a minute because like I have certain people that around that hunt and all that stuff, but
Yeah,
I had never really got into like eating a deer and stuff. If I had,
yeah,
it probably was a long time ago. I probably wouldn't even remember the taste
yeah.
if I
So
have.
so
But
so kangaroo's got that sort of slightly more gamey flavor,
mhm.
and it's just very dry. So lots of people, if they had it, they'd have it kind of reasonably rare on the barbecue. Like if you
Okay,
start to overcook it and it really goes. Ugh.
so it'd be
Um,
like beef jerky almost type. I'm
yeah,
guessing.
yeah. I mean, probably even worse than that. And then the second one is people would if they like grind it up as mince, they'll probably have it in like a spaghetti sauce kind of
Okay,
thing, just because at least with the sauce it kind of doesn't make it so dry. That's normally where
right.
I put it if I do it. I've
Yeah,
had kind of kangaroo steaks and stuff on the barbecue, and me and Samantha, we both ate them and we were like, it's okay, but it's not beef. So
yeah. Make a difference. Make a difference. But I say everything, anything that's on the barbie. Perfect. It's perfectly cooked meat to me. That's my favorite.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
the
but
grill.
yeah, Aussies love a barbecue. You'll
Yeah.
fit right in.
And then the next thing I have, I know you see I'm just doing reactions and I know you talking mostly about Australia with your YouTube. What and how did that come about? YouTube, what inspired you to just start making content about living in
Sure,
Australia?
sure. Well, originally, I think it's on the channel anymore, but I originally started having a little bit of a dabble during COVID, like most people would have.
Hmm.
And my still kind of my main focus is just I make videos about our family with
Right.
the hope of just kind of just capturing us at this time. Like for me,
Hmm.
it's a little bit. I tried having a diary when I was younger, and I think
Right.
that lasted about 3 days just because writing probably isn't my forte.
Yeah, I'm a
Um,
typer myself. I like to type.
yeah, yeah, and we live in a world now with so much technology that why don't we just make a video? And
Yeah.
I was watching. It was probably our last Christmas in the UK, and I was
Mhm.
watching some of my wife's kind of family videos. You know, when they whip out the old VCR and they just kind of
Yeah.
play these really old videos. Ironically, actually, I think it was a holiday in America. I think they were in
Mm.
Florida, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed them, but it was just kind of few-minute clips with no
Oh, yeah.
context. And to them, they were like, "Oh, this is so fun." They were really getting into it. And I
Mhm.
said to my wife, I was like, "I'd like to create something like this for us and
Yeah.
for our family." Like I think it was maybe even Aurora's first Christmas. Um, and and I'll put it on YouTube just
Mhm.
so that we can take advantage of their free cloud saving
Yeah.
capacity.
Exactly, yeah.
So it'll always be there. And I said, if anyone ever wants to kind of watch it and is interested, then that's cool too. And then when we moved to Australia, it kind of made it just that little bit more interesting. And,
Mhm.
and I was still going with that same premise. But then I just started getting more contact from people and building up
Mhm.
that sense of community a bit kind of hey, you've made the move to Australia, asking us questions and can you help us with this kind of part. And I thought
Right.
actually I'm a teacher as my main job, and one of
Mhm.
the main reasons why I'm a teacher is for the holidays. But then secondly, it's it's because I just like to help people.
Right.
So if I can make videos that are still for our primary focus, like selfishly, they're videos about us, and that's what we also want to create, so we can look
Mhm.
back in years to come and think that was us. But secondly, if I can help people
Right.
to move over here, then that's even probably more of an impetus
Mhm.
for us to do it. And then just my things when I react to Aussie culture, or things that I just kind of talk about Aussie culture at the time. Well, I guess that's also like a diary entry for me,
Mhm.
because again, I'll look back in a few years' time and I'll think, well, that's what I was thinking about Australia or Australians at the time. Has my opinion changed? We'll find out. I'll probably
Right.
say some things that perhaps I don't necessarily agree with in the future, and I might have to eat some humble pie and change things about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I seen you started your own podcast as well too,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's a good thing, man. Because like you said, people get the visual, then, just talking with somebody, it's some interest, like, I was surprised how many people, like, actually listen to podcasts, whether they working out or just going around their town, anything, like
Mine's normally driving to work. I'll either listen to an audiobook, or
yeah.
you spend 10 hours a week, maybe more for some people, commuting to work.
Mhm.
It's lost time if you're not trying to do something that's trying to help yourself,
Exactly.
or better yourself, and that's what they are
Yeah.
really. And I knew that a lot of my content is obviously very Brisbane specific, and
Mhm.
very 30 something young family specific. So
Right.
there's people move to Australia to lots of different places for lots of different reasons.
Mhm.
They're in their own times of life. So I thought, well, if I can help spread the message and the story of other people who have also made the move out here,
Mhm.
um, then they might be ever so slightly different. So my
Right.
guest for the first podcast, she actually came over on a global talent visa, and I kind
Oh,
of thought, well,
wow.
that's completely different. I didn't even know what a global talent visa
I
was.
never heard of
Global talent. I
that.
thought, are you a celebrity?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just being able to share that. She actually came over in during COVID as well, and had to quarantine
Okay.
in a slightly different place. She quarantined
Mm.
in Darwin in a like a purpose built quarantine facility. So that was slightly
Mm.
different. So being able to
Yeah.
talk and share about that. So I'm trying to capture as many different experiences as possible of people that come over here, and
Mhm.
hopefully, in time, people that watch my channel, look at my content, looking to
Mm.
move over here, they should be able to find something that's for them, that can help them a
Right.
little bit more.
Exactly. That's one thing I do love about YouTube, because like you said, say for instance, you post a video today, it might benefit somebody 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and
Yeah,
they can still say that, your information helped their situation. Cause I watch videos even now, and they're like 10 years old, but it's like, I needed that information,
yeah,
I wish I
yeah.
would have started sooner doing it, but it's like where I
Oh
got
no,
now
yeah.
is very good timing still though, because it's
Even from our
available.
perspective, yeah, like just whilst I don't admit that we've had a very interesting life,
Mhm.
we've been to places, we've visited a few different places, and I kind of think, oh, why didn't I capture any of that? Why
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
we'd be able to, we even now, only being here for 2 years, we like to watch some of the earlier videos, especially with
Mhm.
Aurora, and see how much she's grown in that time. And we kind of think, wow, I had a thing. Facebook memories is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And I had one pop up the
Yeah.
other day, and it was 10 years ago. Me and Samantha, one of our first holidays together, we went to Amsterdam, and I was
Oh
like,
wow.
oh, I wish I'd captured something from it. I mean, the quality would
Yeah.
have probably been terrible
Oh
with
yeah,
with
for
the way that
sure.
cameras have advanced so long, and we'd be
For
spending most of
sure.
the time talking about that. But yeah, just even to have like 5 minutes of something, just a
Mhm.
compilation kind of video,
Yeah.
um, it would have been so interesting to look at rather than a handful of photos on Facebook memories.
Exactly, cause just like in the beginning, what you said, just those memories, stuff that you can go back and look on. I know a lot of people they use YouTube, like you said, you use it as a cloud just because like, you're not gonna have enough space on your phone to save every video. I
Yep.
mean, nowadays I think my iPhone is like maybe 100 something gigs right now, but it's like that's still not gonna be enough for all the memories that you wanna,
Yep.
have for the years to come and stuff like that. But you look back and all of a sudden you probably, like you said, you're teaching. All of a sudden now you're teaching your daughter. Now all of a sudden she's teaching on the channel or so, so it's like something that can continue on from time to come and stuff.
Well,
But
she knows a lot about rainbows and unicorns, so maybe that's
yeah. Hey,
something
there
she can
I
start
heard
teaching
there's a
about.
My Little Pony community out there, man. I heard there's
Stop
like
it!
a
Don't tell her. She'll be straight in there.
It's I heard it's I thought it was fake. Like it's top tier like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all those things. It's a whole My Little Pony community out there. I didn't know. I didn't know. But
Well, she's not quite 4 yet, but I'm sure there's some time left that she'll get involved in that for
oh
sure.
yeah. So but no, that's real cool. Just the opportunities that YouTube bring, just to create these memories, have these memories and stuff. But then last thing, because I know you already give a lot of advice and for the people that may not live in Australia, live
Hmm.
probably in the US, probably in Europe, probably in Africa, probably in Asia,
Anywhere, anywhere.
anywhere. I think this will be important that they just come to your channel because I mean, even say for instance, they might not move to Australia, but you might know some information. Hey, this same process probably could get you here. This same process could probably get you there. So but what advice would you give to someone about living in Australia?
I The main piece of advice I would give you, and this is based upon what I think you need to not only be successful with moving here, but also getting along with Australians as well,
Hmm.
is that you need to be open-minded, and you need to
Hmm.
be more forward thinking. So
Right.
if you come here and you're whinging about things that you had in your previous country or where you used to live, and it's
Hmm.
not to say you can't have a little whinge about something,
Right. Right.
but if you have that mindset that you're always whinging about, oh, when I used to live here, I always used to be able to get this. When I lived here, I could have that.
Hmm.
Mate, Australians are going to cut you down. Like they will not stand for that type of talk. And it's not to say that Australia is the perfect country.
Hmm.
There's lots of Australians that will probably say it is, but no one wants to hear it. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
there are plenty of alternatives that you can get here.
Hmm.
Um, there are probably some more common whinges that will be a little bit more acceptable, like things like Australia Post and how long things take to get to you. Um, but you can't focus on it, and you need
Right.
to be thinking about what is it here that is good for you, or
Hmm.
what is here that's good for your future, and think and talk about that. Australians are very positive. They've got a great outlook
Hmm.
on life, and whilst they'll probably tolerate you whinging, they'll definitely make a joke out of it before they
Yeah.
start really saying, "Nah, mate, we don't want to hear about this."
Right.
Um, there's so many good things here to do. You know, oh, you get people moaning about the weather. It's too
Mhm.
hot. Well, just go inside and turn your aircon on. Then it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
No one's going to judge you because you're a bit of a wallflower and you don't like to sunbake yourself. But
Hey, there's always a
you know,
solution for every problem for
Exactly,
sure.
exactly. So come here with that kind of mindset. Everyone is slightly different. No one is completely the same. No one expects you to be exactly Australian.
Mhm.
What even is really Australian? You'll probably be
Right.
told that you're un-Australian if you do something. So
Yeah.
that's a big insult.
I think I seen a
Um,
video that said that
yeah,
I
mate.
was like, "Man, you must have did something bad for a
Oh,
Australian to say you're not Australian anymore."
yeah. I even use that now, and I'm not even Australian yet. A couple more years to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely have that mindset, have that open mindset when faced with any challenges here,
Mhm.
because it's not going to be perfect.
Right.
People that come here that assuming it's going to be perfect are probably going to be a little bit shocked as well. Um, and you'll just see the brighter things in life. You'll just
Yeah.
be able to appreciate this country for what it is. And on the whole, you probably won't be disappointed.
Yeah. So that's good. That's a real good breakdown because I know change is hard.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know. I think I seen one of your videos. If I'm not mistaken, it took like the whole process to moving to Australia. It took a couple of months, if I believe,
Oh, longer than that.
longer than
Oh
that.
well,
So
well
it took,
actually getting here, the whole process probably took just over a couple of years from
okay.
thinking from my first time thinking to myself, I really want to move here. It was actually
Hmm.
teaching one of my more difficult classes on last thing on a Friday afternoon, and I just
Yeah.
thought to myself, do you know what? I've had enough. What can I trade my house in? My house in the UK, what can I trade it in for in Australia?
Hmm.
And then I eventually settled on Brisbane in the sense of no, I can really upgrade here. You know,
Right.
Sydney and Melbourne are so expensive that probably I would have taken a few steps back.
Yeah.
Um, and then from then and actually going through the whole visa process,
Mhm.
applying for visas, then our daughter was born in the middle of it, so we couldn't
Oh
have
wow.
medical exams
Yeah.
because you can't have an X-ray when you've got a child inside you. Although I did a lot of research just to check whether you could. I say research; I
Yeah.
just googled it a few times,
Yeah.
and
Hey, the
that's
Google
research now,
Google.
isn't it? Yeah,
Hey,
lots of people say that's research.
Google is pretty 99.8% accurate nowadays. So
Yeah, and then then COVID happened, so that probably delayed
Mhm.
us by at least 6 months again. So
Ooh.
yeah, it's not an easy process. A
Mhm.
lot of people would probably get put off just by the that process in itself.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, all good things come to those who wait, and
Exactly.
nothing's good is ever easy. So
Right. Patience is
insert
definitely
the
key.
cliches.
Yeah. Patience is definitely key. I don't like I'm a patient person, man, but I don't know if I would have had the patience for that, Ross. I don't know.
You've definitely
That's
got to
a
decide,
long.
is this what you want?
Yeah.
Um, and that's probably one of the things I do regret as a younger person.
Mhm.
Trying to maybe when it was just me and Samantha, and we didn't have kids.
Mhm.
If I would definitely wholeheartedly recommend to anyone, come over here on a working holiday visa.
Mhm.
They're pretty much granted instantly
Oh
for
wow.
most people in certain countries. It's not necessarily every country. I'm sure there would be a visa for most people from most countries, and
Right.
just come over here for a year. That visa is normally, maybe a couple of $100, and it
Mhm.
entitles you to work for 6 months in the same place.
Mm.
So you can pretty much travel around, find some work, find some jobs,
That's
give the
not bad.
lifestyle a try, and you can
Yeah.
keep doing that for, I think, 3 years.
Okay,
So
that's not a
you
bad.
have to do what's called 88 days rural work, which is
Mhm.
normally like working on a farm or just working in a rural area. Lots of people do that, but that's good as well because it forces you to have the other side of the experience of Australia, and
Mhm.
it's not all
Right.
about the big cities. So yeah, just come and do that. Do your 88 days rural work so that you can get another year if that's what you want to do, or if you
Mhm.
don't, just come back. You
I
might
say
like it, you might not. If you
yeah.
don't try, you'll never know.
I say that's pretty cool. That's something I definitely wish, like, especially when I was in school, they don't tell us none of this though. It's, "Oh, you should go to college." That's
Ah,
about
yeah.
it. "Oh, you should go." "Oh,
Sold
you didn't
sold
get
a
it?"
lie, haven't we?
Oh my god, I haven't used my degree since I got it. I haven't. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I started YouTube back in, like, 2016 because I started off in engineering,
Uh-huh.
and it was a lot of math, a lot of science, all that stuff. And I remember just wanted to, try YouTube because I'm like, I'm watching these YouTube, and it wasn't even, I think it was Vine at the time. I'm like, I'm watching these
Yeah.
people, and they're making millions of dollars off of 6-second videos technically. And I'm like, maybe I can do motivation because I do like motivation, inspirational type of stuff. I'm like, maybe I can do that, because I like to help people as well. So
Mhm.
let me try doing that and stuff. I still remember just being in physics class, like sitting there, like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? This is not fun. I talked to an engineer at the company I worked at. It was like an engineering company I worked at. And he was like, "Yeah, I told my boys not to, pursue this career because I lost my family doing." I said, "Well, this must not be for me because I want my family and all
Yeah.
that stuff." So, but Yeah, man, I think that's pretty cool. That's some great information to just pass along, especially here that, like I said, they only getting told, hey, you should try college. Hey, college. Hey,
Because they
college.
want
And
your tuition fees.
oh my God, we supposed to be getting a little bond that kind of help pay. I'm like, you know what? I think I need a refund because I don't use it.
When I went to university in the UK, I think that was the last year that it was what we'd call kind of cheap. I think I
Mhm.
paid £1,500 a year for my
That's not bad.
tuition, and when I left the UK, so a few years ago, it had gone up to £9,000 a year. So people after 1 year of university have the same amount of debt that I have
That's
after like
wow.
4 that I finished. So my
Oh
sister
my.
hates it at the moment because her daughter, my niece, is 18 years old. So she's finishing school
Mhm.
this year and she's thinking about going to university. And obviously, hey, speak to Uncle Ross. You know, he's a teacher. He
Right.
knows stuff. And my sister is very pro go to university. Like
Mhm.
I've saved money for her to be able to do it.
Right.
And I say to my niece, like, do you know what you want to do when you're older? And she's like, I don't know. I kind of have an
Mm,
idea that maybe I'd want to go into journalism. I say that's great.
yeah.
But until you definitely know that you need to go to university to access the career that you need, like
Mhm.
I'm a teacher. If you want to be a teacher, you've got to go to
Yeah,
university. You can't be a
exactly.
teacher without it.
Right.
And that's fine. So pay your money, do your time,
Mhm.
get your qualifications. But if you're not sure, then don't do it. People in the UK are still going to university just because a degree will help me. It won't
Mm,
anymore, mate.
mm.
You know, even when people get a master's degree, they're like, yeah, that doesn't really help either. Like,
I still
what
know
experience do you have? Well, nothing, because I've
exactly.
been at university for 5 years. Like,
Yeah, that's what people are looking for. I remember applying for a job and it said entry level with 5 years of experience. I said I ain't
who's
been
got that?
doing right. It's like how's this entry level? But I
Mm,
know I think I know a couple of people. They got their master's degree and they're like bartenders and all
yeah,
that stuff still because now they're like, all right, I got this degree. Now I have to wait for a job and have to pay these bills still, these
it's
school
crazy.
bills. But with
Do you,
journalism, like you mentioned, she probably just hey, just start a
just
blog
start
post.
writing. Just start
Yeah,
writing.
just
Yeah,
start writing.
practice your craft.
Exactly. You can be
Yeah,
anonymous for all we
yeah,
know. You know, you have the biggest page out there where you doing, different media coverage or covering this
yeah.
person that, or write a book. There's plenty
And you're
of
going to spend most of
opportunities.
the first years anyway just making mistakes. So you're better off
Exactly.
doing it yourself. Fail hard,
Yeah,
fail fast, learn quick. So
exactly. That's a
you don't.
fact.
The one thing I would actually recommend that people do in the UK is not go to university. I'd recommend joining the army or joining the forces. You know,
Yeah.
they'll pay you. They'll give you all of your training. You could probably get a degree through them as well. Like they'll
Yeah.
pay for that,
Mhm.
and then you can leave after 3, 5, however many years. You've got that on your resume, and you might have some qualifications. You've had some life experience. You've probably made some
Exactly.
really good friends, and then hey, if you finished at 23, 24, and you still go, do you know what? I want to go back to university. We'll do it then. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
you've had that experience. You can make that choice. Don't be a person at 18 years old with your whole life ahead of you, and then you're going to saddle
Exactly.
yourself with so much debt
Right.
for nothing.
Yeah, because it's definitely because people they you pay for the degree, then you get a job that's not even the same price as the degree that you're gonna
Yeah,
make a year. But
yeah,
the work visa, she might need to consider that and just be a journalist. Hey,
yeah.
just work over here. Now
Come,
you
come
get
and
to
be a
see
digital nomad and sponge off your Uncle Ross.
right. Hey, now you learning. Now you're traveling. Now, hey,
Yeah,
that's something we're talking about right there.
yeah. And then if
But
you're older and you want to go back to uni, then you can.
yeah, but
You
then
don't
I'm
have to
sure.
do it at
Yeah,
18. You don't have to rush your life.
right. I'm sure by that time she's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm glad I made this decision not to go." I'll be telling
Well,
people,
the important thing is I can't make the decision for her,
yeah,
so
that's
she's got to
yeah,
make it herself.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But man, I definitely appreciate you for hopping on here. I said I
No,
gotta
thank
get
you
him
very
on.
much.
'Cause I did quite a bit of videos, so I was like, I gotta get Ross on and talk to him and stuff. My fault. See, I'm talking about Russ again, man. My fault.
Who's this Russ? Who's Russ?
I,
I'm
Russell Westbrook just been on my mind or
gonna have
something,
to Google
man.
that as well. Who the hell is Russell Westbrook?
Oh, you're the basketball player. I'm a basketball fan, man.
Oh, absolutely.
He
I
plays
don't.
with the
I have no
Lakers.
idea.
Yeah, he played with the
Russell Westbrook. Oh, he's a good looking man.
he plays with the Los Angeles Lakers right now. He been having some struggles, but he's been bouncing back. He went from like a superstar,
Uh
all-star,
huh.
And last year was just horrible with the Lakers. This year he started coming off the bench, and people were like, oh, he's coming out, but now he's doing good coming off the bench with
Salary
LeBron.
$47 million a year.
Hey, he's
The guy
paid. He's
probably
definitely.
earns as much as I do in a year and a week.
Hey, yeah, probably in one day. Definitely one day for
Yeah,
sure.
Russell Westbrook. If you ever hear anything, help a brother out. You know.
Hey, I just need a meal. You got it to spare. That's all. That'll get me
Yeah,
through. That'll get me
come
through a
on.
month.
I'll show you a good night out. Yeah, just pay for my drinks.
Yeah, but no, man, I definitely appreciate it. And I owe you a shirt, man. I tried doing the care packages and all that stuff, but I don't know what it is. I might have to try it, so I'm gonna hit you up to send you maybe some snacks or something and a
Oh, stop
T-shirt.
it.
Because
Stop it.
I have a foundation called Dream Leaders, because I
Okay.
mentor kids and stuff.
Oh, that's really, really
I'm
noble.
still kind of in education. I sub a little bit here and there, but I have a foundation just helping kids, and I actually have a foundation where I coach basketball. So in the summer, I have a AAU team that travels around, trying to help these kids
Awesome.
earn scholarships and stuff. So definitely want to send you a shirt. For sure, a shirt. I hope the snacks get that, because I had a few boxes. They didn't make it to the places overseas.
Well, do
So
you know what
I don't know.
I want to do, because I want to showcase a little bit more of Australian snacks. I want to do a
Mhm.
snack wars type video.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely. If whatever you think is
I'm gonna send you.
the top 3 American snacks that you'd be totally proud of.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's I found as well, there's a British shop. They sell like different candies, lollies, all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I want to go down there, and I want to do the same thing for myself. I want to have
Yeah.
like I'd love to do a 3-way. There you go.
That'll be cool. That'll be real cool right there,
Aussie
man.
snacks, UK snacks versus American snacks. Which one is the
Yeah.
best? And
See,
I'd hate to admit if it was ever the American one that was actually the better one.
yeah, but see, I don't.
I'd be torn.
I'm kind of cautious sending you the chocolate from America. People be like, it tastes like vomit and all that stuff. So that's why I'm
I
like,
have tried American chocolate before, and the
mhm.
only thing I would say is please don't ever consider sending me Hershey's, thinking it's going to be
Yeah,
awesome.
say
Because although my
I
wife,
like Kit Kat.
yeah.
Kit
Well,
Kats are
she
good, but it's
whinges that
Hershey, I
the
think.
Cadbury's over here isn't exactly the same, and I kind of
Yeah.
semi agree. But then
Mhm.
I think they might change the recipe ever so slightly just to deal with the heat.
Yeah.
But
So it's
we'll never know.
different, but I will find something. Imma think hard, long and hard. 'Cause I mean, the chocolate I eat is pretty much Kit Kat, a Twix, or something like that. But I'm gonna find you something. I'm gonna find you something, Russ, and I'm
Cheers,
gonna
bud.
send it your way. So I'll hit you up on the Instagram, man. But for
Cheers,
sure,
bud.
I definitely appreciate this, man. This was good. This was real good. You gave some vital information. So if you're young out there, watch the end of. You don't even have to watch it, but watch the end of this video. What Russ said, go get that work visa and travel the world. So
You never know what you
yeah,
might find out.
you never know. You never know, man. But I appreciate you, Russ.
Thanks, bud.
And hey,
Ross, not Russ.
like
Remember,
he,
I'm not the basketball player.
Ross. See, you look like one of the guys I seen, man. That's probably why. That's probably why.
I'm definitely not tall enough.
Ross.
I'm just a maybe slightly taller than average Filipino person.
Yeah. But Ross, definitely appreciate you, my guy. And guys, that's all we have for this podcast. So y'all make sure, hey, if you're watching, hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all go to Ross, and I'll put all his information below in the description. That's all we have. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.